Welcome everyone to this live stream continuation of the other one, because we need to send some patches upstream. So a little bit of GitHub and your chance to ask more questions, answers and whatnot. Or does it want what? Is this login or not? What the heck? This is not. Okay, automatic web login, also not what it once was. Sign in, yes please. And so a short overview, because educational and motivation for open source and whatnot is, in my opinion, also a question is, I should, by the way, probably maybe anyway, ISO is too high, but just leave it like this anyway. You see too much here anyway. And are we live enough? So in good old-fashioned times, I have done the keyboard stuff here for this amazing Sun keys here on the side, these extra keys that didn't have OBS support. Also, by the way, you can watch that video. One note though, in my opinion, I was thinking about this a little longer minute. Maybe it should have been done slightly different in OBS, in that they had their only support for the keys only work if they have some defined in their enumeration there. Maybe it would have been slightly better if they would have had support for all keys, like usually like some integer number. You have seen this for integer numbers like 1000 or hex FF 10 or something for cancel and undo and redo. Maybe it would have been a better design decision in OBS to just pass down the platform specific number and don't care about the naming of stuff. And just if you want pretty names, of course, the downside would have been that you see hotkey like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and not some pretty name like stop or A. However, you could have still have some platform specific lookup. And then if it returns something like cancel, home and such, you print it there, otherwise you just print the number. Then at least all keys would always work. That would be the benefit of that decision, software architecture design decision. Instead of this way, the keys don't work unless they have it defined there at all. So anyway, we made this patch there. You can check that. So the way to send this upstream, in earlier times you would have just fired up your browser and sent the patch there. This is not how it works these days anymore, unfortunately. I liked this very much. I didn't really had a problem with it. Let me just check. Maybe I should have moved here this window slightly over. Might look anyway. And I never had really a problem with sending an email. This worked very efficiently for me. I could have, okay, let's start this vintage cool terminal don't want to see so much typing on the camera. That was cool, just that you see this stuff better with some larger font, because why not? And then scene, actually could have. So root, actually, so you don't need to be root here, but usually just because the T2 builds a system level stuff as root usually. This is why I have this as root usually. So the patch, I set this last night, is in package multimedia OBS studio and then Nix keys. That is a patch, that is what I'm talking about. And in my opinion, as we have people in the audience, which is amazing, on the secondary live channel stuff. So as far as I know, most people want to have it like this. Okay. And also web in 2019, right? Usually faster to find stuff, studio, Git, faster with Google than on these sites. So correct me if I'm wrong, usually with this pull requests on this kind of WebGit stuff, they want it like this, that you click on clone, not clone, wait a second, fork, and then ignore this Twain stuff. They also, I need to be really careful, one wrong click and I clone this as official Twain scanner standard stuff. So yeah, if you have multiple accounts, they're one click away from exposing your open source work in other projects accidentally. So then we have this forked, which is, in my opinion, slightly ridiculous, but whatever. Then git clone the stuff here from our fork. This will download quite some 30 megabyte apparently Yeah, just also, is this really efficient? In my opinion, this takes like 10 times more time. I always run here a little bit against windmills with my old-fashioned just send an email patch. By the way, if you send a patch to one of my open source projects like Exact Image, T2, all the other small stuff, mini SED or whatever I might maintain left and right, just drop me an email. Besides, don't even use Git for most of the stuff. Anyway, so many steps. Then we change directory into this, apply the patch here. That would be p1 of package multimedia OBS Studio Nix patch. This applies this here. This is, by the way, if you never done this, is how you apply patch. P1 for the patch level, that strips the first directory of all the directory separator stuff, because in T2 we usually find it good style for 2 decades to have the package project name as the first pass, like OBS Studio, also with version number preferably. Then you see this patch was for 23.1 or 0.2 or something. In my opinion, the best style. Then we git commit this. Okay, fine. Not used git recently here on whatever. Then this my email for everyone to see and have anyway is for this kind of stuff, that, and git config. Yeah, you only do this once, but whatever. And then commit again. And your branch is up to date. Changes not staged. Yeah, you could stage that. I think it works too. Yeah, not the very. No, go away. Not the greatest Git fan, but so changes to commit. Then the commit message, whatever. So that was actually, I had that in there. We can copy and paste this from here. Like, okay, fine. So let's start with this. Like just a couple of more xorg, I don't know, /Unix key, like hot keys, whatever you want to write there. Hotkey or hotkey defines, just a couple of more. And then this is committed. Then we git push this. Is probably once. How much on camera do we have this? The benefit also from the Sun keyboard with the membrane stuff. I know people hate this. By the way, as usual, how do you like this vintage keyboard? Do you hate it as much? I nearly dropped the keyboard. Do you like it as much as people from keyboard review or YouTube channels? What was my... Maybe this. I hope it wasn't. Hey, it was the right password. Hope not on live on YouTube. Always a danger of live streaming and producing all this content here. So now we have pushed this change here. When we refresh this here in this fork, we will see here the new commit here just online, just right now. From me, just a couple of more defines. You can take a look on the changes here that already have shown there on the previous live stream there, just the changes. And yeah, okay, most likely this will be rejected, but I first need to feel the waters there. I could have removed this if I have only made this provision here in case they demand to, is it even on screen, that they demand to have this conditionalized if this headers exist. But I guess my guesstimate is that probably all BSD and Linux systems from the last decade most likely have this, 2 headers, this additional XF86 keysims and Sun keysims for this additional, where is it here, this XF86, this open paste and Sun specific stuff, apparently maybe not in SGI IRIX or HPPA UX or whatever. Anyway, now we have this, and by the way, you see, I document this not only to motivate people. This is the amazing state-of-the-art procedure in 2019, how to send stuff upstream. Again, I found email fine, but whatever. And to comment, I'm interested to hear, do you find this procedure totally amazing? Was emails enough? We have comments in the audience. I recently picked up Sun Nextra Spark Station 5 without a frame buffer card. Still need to get a keyboard for it. That sounds amazing. And keyboard. Yeah, so I had 3 keyboards with Sun Serial. I just sent one for just the cost of shipping to the Netherlands to a subscriber here of ours together with the Ultra 5. We had this giveaway. I still have the 1 HP PA Risk to give away, but SparkStation 20. Yeah, so the SparkStation, so HP PA Risk still want to give away with maybe a broken PCI visualized frame buffer. It shows up in PCI, LSPCI and the firmware, but doesn't work. No idea what's up with that. Maybe you get it to work, maybe to flash something, solder something, I have no idea. It looks perfect, just frame buffer doesn't work. The rest of the machine works, so you can use it without graphic, with serial and network and stuff. Pickup preferred, because why did I for many months not ship? Could also change the scene here, right? It's our amazing Sun scene keys. Why did I not ship these machines earlier? Because I really don't want to spend here 20-30 bucks for the stupid shipping. The cost, full disclosure, so I shipped this. I asked to donate the shipping cost, which the subscriber thankfully did, because still only at $3 a day with YouTube AdSense revenue. Right now, YouTube channel a huge loss. This is why do I make so many YouTube videos on the weekend, because I hope to be able to eventually grow this random Unix open source goodness stuff here, because we have great plans and it would be amazing if they could be realized sooner than later. So not really cheap to ship this Ultra 5, and the Ultra 5 is a desktop size. This size, actually I theoretically have here one more, one more Ultra 5 to give away, right? So this one is my original. Of course, the one wanted the faster one that was 360 megahertz. That one is my original that I purchased myself for good money. I think it was like 270 euro or something in 2003, 4, 5-ish. But this one right now doesn't have a hard drive. It also doesn't have the hard drive sled tray there, but you can easily fabricate your one. And no memory. Yeah, you need memory for this one, because I probably took the memory out for my other slightly faster Ultra 5. So I had 3 Ultra 5, 2 I got for free myself a decade ago, and the fastest one obviously I keep, and this one is still, if you want to have it. Just why do I hesitate to ship this stuff? It's just so freaking expensive. 10 kilo with DHL in Europe is 20 euro something, or whatever that was. And because the Ultra 5 is just shy of 10 kilo, plus if you ship it with a keyboard and a hard drive, it's 12. It was 12.5 kilo. And this is of course slightly ridiculous to send this to the Netherlands for 32 euro and 99 cents or something like that. This is why the HP PA Risk is even heavier, nearly SJ Octane level, so that for sure is 20 kilo, and then it might even be more than 32 euro. It's ridiculous. So I'm surprised I found a mouse for just so professor to keep it, think to crossword, able to figure up anything from you though. Got some blade but won't ship them. And where you are located with your, what you mean, you want to give a blade 1000 away or not? Anyway, coming back to this forking stuff, just for this is why one PA HP PA Risk was it was on the way. I drove it somewhere. The second one, I hope maybe I just messaged the second one on Reddit. Maybe it goes away Frankfurt. But do I know you? You are not from previous Rock Linux fame, are you? Because do you want to get rid of the Blade 1000 or? Anyway, theoretically, I have someone in Frankfurt who from previous Rock Linux fame who wanted to get maybe rid. I tried to meet him a couple of times, but always not that it is you who want, maybe not. Anyway, this is visible on the photo. Anyway, whatever. So yeah, now we have done all this modern Git web UI stuff. Now we go back to Z. So we have committed this. So we go back to Z and open here a pull request. What do you mean with yes? Wait a second, why do I have so many browser tabs? Add me on YouTube. You are connected. Ah, this is a check-in channel. This is. Yep, if we manage to pick something up, that would be amazing. You see, the other stuff what I have twice, or the Ultra 5 I had 3 times. One, if I understand correctly who you are, then the first one I purchased from you, right? 2003 or 2 or when that was. And the other ones I got for free in a couple of years later than when people wanted to throw them away. And as I said, Office is getting too full and don't want to have stuff 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times, except the SJ Octane. But even there, SJ Octane I probably don't want to have more than 2. But a faster one, maybe switching with someone else, that would be fantastic. Going back to this OBS stuff, so then new pull request. Why do I do this again in full detail? To motivate people to do more, because I don't want to be the only one who fixes headphone jacks in Realtek drivers, codecs, and OBS key bindings and stuff like this. And also, by the way, LVM2, I still need to recover. Here's a broken LVM2 RAID stuff. I thought it's more amazing. I'm actually really disappointed how not amazing this LVM2 stuff is. Anyway, we want to open here a pull request. So with this compare changes, then we click here on somewhere. Where was the space? Here somewhere was external. Here compare across forks. Then you select your probably, let's see here, this one, RXR Berlin OBS Studio. So there's anything to compare. Why? What? Wait. Repository. Why is there not? Should be. What a fail. Normally it should know lists. Yeah. Then you see, I've just done this for the Spark keyboard stuff. Because with the USB converter stuff we soldered the other night, the ISO key, the 102 or 3 or something, 102, right? Key didn't work. I fixed this, and this also sent upstream already. So it's I just have done this yesterday. I really wonder why it doesn't show here something. Try to switch base voice. RXR Berlin Master is up to date with the commits from. Somehow this doesn't make. Is this just some cloud hiccup? That this, yeah. There you see. If I would have sent an old-fashioned email from back in the day when email just worked. And here you see, by the way, always need to check that we have this on screen. Not to mention drop frames, but today we are fine with 0 drop frames. So that we sent upstream, I really wonder, this should have been here. I showed it to you, right? Just a couple of more Xorgs, so it's there, it's on master. So is this just some, can't make this stuff better up than this. And yep, so much for the cloud stuff. Just isn't amazing. Maybe we need to wait a minute. It should just work, but if you are interested in this should just work. Let's try the other way around. But no, it compares something. Maybe it was the other. Maybe it was the wrong. Compare. Choose 2 branches. Does it really not? Let's live test this on YouTube. Was this just some cloud hiccup, or does this need to be? What? Why does this disappear now? Cloud usability. Okay, so then it was not cloud syncing delay stuff on the wrong server. Oh, why does this always disappear? You can't make this usability nightmare up. Okay, then you need to change head repository. So yeah, you need to choose it there. You see, I only do it once a month, and you already forget which of the sites. So now you have the commit here, and then you click on create pull request. I say discuss and review the changes. and yeah, click there. And then what I find really slightly funny, I wondered already about this the other day, that you need to type in some text already. I wonder why they do not take the text from the commit, but maybe you need to write there more in a special markdown syntax. I have no idea. Wait a second, let's just repeat this, I'm not sure. Was the text? This is so much talking on YouTube, then you already overlooked what you... this text was already there, but just not there. They can then write some story, but maybe if you have more text, maybe this text comes there, whatever. So now, to be super nice for them, we could write there a whole story, like wanted to use... What is up with me? Maybe too hot. Not just work. I have to add difference to the Nix hotkeys or whatever the file name was. OBS Nixie. Let's see what happens. Hope you learned something. Discussing. So actually they do some maybe continuous integration stuff. Pending, waiting, maybe this is checking. I mean, this is the only benefit of all this new cloud integration stuff, that it's running continuous integration tests there. And it's probably, yeah, so it's building all the platforms, which is of course nice. That is the only, well, only, but this is the biggest feature here on this new cloud integration stuff. That is a benefit of rolling this over email, certainly. Although for me it would have been, of course, less work, but anyway, maybe it saves human resources in the grand scheme of things here for their continuous integration and test compiling stuff. And yeah, now we could watch here in progress and schedule. The good thing is, of course, with this Windows test, it could fail, for example, on Windows or macOS, but we only added keys. I would think it should most likely finish compiling there, because we only added new defines for new keys like sun, props, and maybe undo. Redo actually could open this change set, so you can see this change set by clicking somewhere like here. So those keys we had, open, find, redo, undo, front, and props, could theoretically also exist on Windows. And if you have some amazing keyboard with 2000 keys or whatever. And again, I really like this scene selection here. And yeah, that's it for this video, unless someone wants to discuss some more vintage Unix tinkering stuff. And what else do we have here on this YouTube stuff? So this I accepted. Somehow this discussion, nothing really, I know something. Anyway, this is recommended, so thank you very much for recommending this video. I guess if this is right, or is it mine? No, this is my own video anyway. YouTube usability, not amazing. So yeah, regarding pickups, if you are still there, would be amazing if we could do say something, because my fastest Spark is 360 megahertz, and not sure how fast the Ultra 30 is. Certainly not faster, maybe also 360 or something like that, or 390 maybe. And yeah, would certainly be welcome. And otherwise, I hope you learned something with this GitHub stuff. Let's click here back and see how the continuous integration is running. Let's maybe refresh this or something. And yeah, thanks for hanging out here, for learning something, I hope I can motivate you to also do something. There is so much stuff to do. Also, LVM2, their error recovery, in my opinion, could be better. With my microkernel stuff, this is not only hot talk. We will for sure continue with this. I also so much would like to do, but only time and money, right? Because this is what we do this here for. Oh shit, no, you see the nonsense on the wall there. Let's see why. Also need to paint the office wall. As I mentioned in another live stream, the previous tenant did not only paint the wall white, they also did not paint, not white, yellow. They also did not paint behind their wardrobe they had there. Please never do this. This is really annoying. Didn't really care so much until we started YouTube streaming. Now we have here as shit hole looking as Louis Rossmann in New York. So in Berlin it's only a little bit better. What I also really... Oh damn, I left the battery in there. Why have I done this? Damn, now the battery. You can't make this shit up. Shit, I discharged. Usually only for the YouTube. Damn, now I need to re-virtualize the battery again. I was so careful for so many months. And then some YouTube live stream. Damn it. How could I do that? Shit. Yeah, because Transmeta, I also really want to do more 3D stuff. And for that... but now I can. Next Saturday project, battery. Oh, damn it. Yeah, so this is when you have your, especially the portables, right? On the Sun, you only have the Environ battery. On the portables like the Oko 01 or the Sony. So both have the same problems. The Sony Vario P, of course, the battery is not amazing anymore. And also the Transmeta Oko here, of course. Battery is surprisingly good, well, better than a crap Apple battery, but yeah, don't leave it in there, it will be discharged. I don't really quite understand why. Well, except leak voltages and leakage and stuff. Maybe also the real-time battery in this is also empty, but this one is soldered in, so it's like with soldering pins. And to do this, I would need to disassemble this mostly and solder there on the very small PCB. Not really motivated to this. Not really sure if this is related, if the battery would drain less if this Environ RTC battery isn't empty. Damn it, good, I checked this over. Anyway, yeah, so you see so much stuff if you have your collection of outstanding stuff. But also then more 3D stuff, low level stuff, and we will slowly progress there. Also, yeah, of course, PS3. But the RSX is just not as much fun when it crashes and needs to reset. Yeah, also yeah, it's hot. They probably need to save someone's life in this burning heat. Even in the office, I can only sit here with aircon running. I have to admit, super hot here, 30 centigrade Celsius out there. And yeah, so they probably apparently don't have a Ryzen. They probably want to set up C cache there or ICE, what is it, ICE CC or something, because these tests are still running. And this time I would have compiled OBS on this amazing AMD Ryzen, but who knows how many commits are running there. Maybe it's not even started, but anyway. Whatever, I hope you learned something, and if you want that I pick up... Actually, wait a second. I am, by the way, maybe can you leave me, are the comments still loading or not? If I understand correctly who you are, and you still want to donate this blade 1,000, that would be amazing, of course. I'm actually in that area at the end of the month, and power is necessary for a cooling system. What cooling system to run Sparks or run the office? I will be there in this area at the end of the month, actually. Although not yet sure with what form of transportation I got there, but very theoretically I would want to meet up with someone in Belgium, which would be amazing. Just not sure if this... Anyway, let's talk on at me and off and off. Yeah, so more amazing stuff to come, so much tinkering to do. Now I need to really, this is really... Anyway, hope you learned something and still hear the theme, trying to innovate open source, also LVM2 recovery. Don't forget to share, like and subscribe for more of those random tinkering. I hope this motivates you to do open source. There's also on the Ultra 5, the kernel oops, the latest kernel oops with floppy access, and also on the Ultra 5 ALSA audio worked, but on the Ultra 30 or what this is, ALSA audio didn't work. Maybe I could. So the thing is, share, like and subscribe, not that I become millionaire, but just to have a reasonable income, because I could also next take the Ultra 30 just for the fun of it and try, because I think there's something broken with ALSA audio. Although on the other hand, who is using ALSA audio on the Ultra 30? Maybe I myself, when I had the Ultra 30 relatively more new, 12 years ago or something, even back in that day, I most likely have not used ALSA audio there too much, because the Ultra 30 is not only consuming quite some electricity, but also is not that silent. And so I might not even really have used the Ultra 30. Fun fact, one of my best friends here in Germany, when his iBook broke, because Apple stuff breaks, right? And when his iBook broke and stuff, he actually used the Ultra 30, because we got 2 for free on the recycling bin. We got 2 Ultra 30. And the other one is that my friend, I think he still has it on an attic here in Berlin or something. And so he, when he was writing his PhD thesis and his iBook broke, he really was using the Ultra 30, of course, with 2 Linux. What else? He is a contributor there and stuff. So he was really using the Ultra 30 for a week or 2 until he had a new or repaired iBook or whatnot. And yeah, certainly energy efficiency wise, not the most amazing, but anyway, fun stuff. And Rossmann, yes, of course, I know Rossmann. This is, by the way, Louis Rossmann is one of, I watched some of his videos. Right now I don't watch him that much anymore, because I find his latest videos too random and too repeating. I hope, well, of course, my content is not yet amazing, but working on this, I also had to buy microphones, camera and whatnot, HDMI capture, and fix OBS stuff, because only since latest patches, not only the hotkeys, but also AMD video encode it was off by 8, and YouTube was doing funny scaling stuff then with it and such. Louis Rossmann was one of the inspirations why I actually thought, when he is live streaming Apple stuff, repair stuff, then I can also live stream here open source and Unix stuff and vintage retro godness, or also product reviews and stuff. And yeah, Louis Rossmann, one of those inspirations where I thought, if he can do it, I can do it as well. Still trying to build up the audience. Amazing that we have on the other channel, of course, already 3,120 something, and which is amazing. And so the grand plan also, of course, Linus Tech Tips. And then I thought, when Linus Tech Tips can do his PC, mostly PC review stuff, then let's try to do here more Unix focused review stuff. And yes, we are not yet as amazing as Linus Tech Tips, but he also has a team of 30 or something, and I do my currently loss generating YouTube fun stuff here mostly alone, because if I would pay one of my other people, then this loss business would be even larger. So until we have here more than $3 a day, I do it alone on weekends and nights and such. And now I need to fix this battery. And yeah, let's keep in touch, and don't forget to share, like and subscribe. Tell it each of your friends, family, co-workers and whatnot, because we need more than 3,000 subscribers to be profitable with this and do way more amazing stuff. Also, SGI Octane wise, I hope one day I continue. I have a couple of things to do. There are some low-hanging fruits on the Octane front. I will, okay, first of all, I have to forward port the kernel. Then I need to, because right now we are running for 12, and even that will take a huge time. Actually, this side slightly, probably have to mirror this anyway. So on the Octane, next stuff to come is forward port the kernel. Right now we are on 4.12. Of course we want 5 something, but this is a huge, this will probably a week's time, and this is why do I not just continue with the SGI Octane and PS3, because I have the feeling then people would board, and the few 3,000, well, not few, the amazing huge group of 3,000 people that subscribed already. I see this already each day. People are unsubscribing, certainly because they find the videos too boring, too repeating, too random, too whatever, or just filmography not amazing enough. And this is why I at least try on the limited time, and which, by the way, we should stop this live stream in regards to limited time. I try at least to do a little bit more random different stuff to entertain more people than just SGI Octane and PS3. But on the Octane, so this is why we need to grow an audience, because this will most likely be 1 week of time worth of porting the Linux patches stuff to 5 or something, Linux 5. Then we have, I hacked the hardware cursor. Before there was no hardware cursor for the mouse pointer. Hardware cursor works, but it does not yet have the correct colors. And I already spent way more time than I should admit or should have done. I spent already probably two days, if not nearly 3, bit banging the random registers. I still have not got the simple, these are only 2 values, foreground and background color. I have not yet found the right register combination of bit banging the color into the duck registers there, which is, it's such a small tiny problem, right? But if you don't have specification, if you're random guessing from MIPS disassembly and other resources you find on the web, you easily spend 2 or 3 days bit banging there some registers and it still doesn't work. And then I have some other stuff. Theoretically, we could on the Octane, I have the impact boards, do more 3D. I found some disassembly kind of random information. Very theoretically, we could 3D on Linux on the Octane, which certainly is also amazing, a lot of work. And again, for how many people, right? For me and 5 other people in the world. But anyway, this is the fun stuff. If you are interested in this stuff, it's just a fun hobby stuff to do, right? And then last but not least, we have aided. I will for sure continue just for the fun of it for the optical light pipe aided stuff on the Octane. And last but not least, I really hope I can switch one of those Octanes with one in Belgium, maybe, hopefully. Not only he probably has a R2000 or R14000. I also hope he isn't sure, but I hope it would be a vPro graphic. I would so much love to have a vPro graphic because I have the Impact. The vPro graphic are doing OpenGL and hardware. So you just write the OpenGL commands in the memory mapped I/O region and the hardware is doing this. The Impact is more a classic kind of fixed function, kind of, sort of. So it's more like Verge or Voodoo, not really, but a little bit more. And the vPro is so much more OpenGL. So I think they have MIPS, probably, I guess, microprocessor. So it's like a coprocessor kind of subsystem, and you just throw the OpenGL commands into the memory mapped I/O command ring buffer stuff, and the hardware is doing it themselves. And I don't have the cards. I don't want to spend, so I don't really need to do this. If I really do this just for the contributing to the open source landscape, documenting this, and just for the vintage retrosec to program this and basically donate thousands dollar worth of my time spending on this, at least I would appreciate if the card is donated to me. I certainly don't want to spend another $300 or $500 just for such a vPro card on XIO card on eBay. This is why I'm after that. Because again, on top of this is weeks worth of reverse engineering time, right? And this is why we do this here. And that are the things on the Octane. And for the P3, of course, all the RSX stuff. And also the latest for updating the P3 patches for vRun 420, which is new. But the next kernel 5 requires also some rediffing because they changed the multi-queue block device API, and because we need to change the storage drivers, because running as GameOS with full access privileges for anything in the P3, including the RSX graphics, but also all the storage regions, these changes are relatively complicated because the upstream driver official from Sony only is supporting one storage region. And this is why the changes are more complicated, because we have 4 or so storage regions. So we have GameOS, our partition, some other flash partition or something. So there are like, I think, 4 partitions. That is one of the differences when we run as GameOS. And this is why the changes are more complicated, because we need to have multiple of those submit queues or multi-queue stuff. And then as it's a monolithic kernel, it usually, if there's a typo or a bug or a synco, not necessarily a typo, but a synco, you did not really understand the API enough, or you did not all the surrounding glue for the hypervisor. There's just one, not typo, but synco, like using this API wrong. It just crashes, it won't boot, it will kernel panic. You might not even see this, you have a 0 output. Debugging is a nightmare there. So this even just the storage stuff will take a day or something. So for that, yeah, for that, all of those summary goodness here on a Saturday afternoon to give you a thought. And then, of course, all the other fun stuff, new AMD stuff, Ryzen 3000 series, latest RDNA graphic, update there and stuff. HP, something Intenium fully equipped. High-hanging fruit. Yeah, so Intenium, someone in Belgium said they have a huge Intenium. You realize, live on YouTube, you realize you don't say these words very often. So IA64, Intel Intenium. Anyway, yeah, someone in Belgium also made already one fix to T2 in regards to GCC bootstrapping, because then I cross-compiled Intenium on T2, and GCC didn't bootstrap. Was a very simple fix there to enable their shared libraries, because the libgcc, I think, something needed another symbol of unwinding or so, something in libgcc or something. Super simple fix, but even that took an hour or two. Not only all the configuring, starting the test build, then seeing the build errors and analyzing the build error, and another hour was gone, just to give you an overview where all the time is going when you are in Linux and open source, and especially running your own Linux distribution for not as much profit but more fun. And yeah, patches welcome, hope to see you soon, and maybe later tonight for more IT news of this week or something, and then until next time.